That episode of Malcolm in the Middle where Hal gets into walking fast. That's the best I know about fast walking.
Never been a Mancunian champion at that.
No. You can't do it with an Definitely.
It's just 10 to 2 walking.
Fucking hell.
Slow down, you dickhead.
Why are you walking so fast?
Fucking rapid, man. Right, anyway. Yes, everybody, welcome back to the Fixture List. Stephen Howson, Joe Smith.
Hello.
All right?
Yeah, I'm all right. Just still getting over the England result. You were devastated, I'm sure.
Yeah, I couldn't move for about 10 seconds.
I think that was the flu that you had, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah. I'm over it now, thanks for asking. Can we draw a line under that shit now?
Well, maybe not.
Actually, definitely, because United have a pre-season game this fucking weekend.
Yeah, yes, definitely.
Which you can come and watch along on Stratford Paddock if you're interested. But more important than pre-season is transfer season.
Yeah.
Because we're in the middle of that. That Jason Sanchez fella, it's gone quiet on the front with him. Don't know what's going on with him.
Well, we got that Jadon Sancho instead, didn't we?
Not as good, though. Definitely don't think he's... No, I don't think he's anywhere near me. He played for City. Why would you want him? There's a lot of talk about Raphael Varane, right? I know a fella that might know a thing or two about Raphael Varane. Should we ring him?
Yeah.
Mohammed Butt from Squawka. What's happening, Harkid?
Nothing much, my friend. How you doing?
All right. Yeah. Super, actually.
Yeah, nice. Good to hear, man. You know, glad to hear we got over the England result. So, you know, it's like you said, let's draw a line. It happened. It's done in the past. Let's move forward with purpose. Football never stops, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, in a big, big way. Like, I can't believe United have got a pre-season game this weekend. But anyway, Raphael Varane.
Yeah.
We'll leave aside the is he, isn't he. I actually think that this looks real. Now, whether they get him over the line or not, I think they're trying, and I think they've got a chance to. So, leave that speculation aside. Mad, innit?
I can't believe you're saying it.
Belting player. Him and that Jason Sanchez fella, top signings.
Yeah.
Still need something in midfield. Don't know who that's going to be.
No.
Does seem like the Camavinga one could be real, but I think there's a first choice one coming as well. Maybe.
Rice.
Or at least, Rice maybe. But Mo, talk to me about Raphael Varane. I've seen some people saying he's got mistakes in him. I've seen some people saying he's too soft for the Premier League. Where'd you lie?
Mate, I mean, too soft for the Premier League. This man won 3 Champions Leagues in a row. He won 4 in 5 years. Too soft. This is what they said of Guardiola. He's too tactical for the Premier League. Comes in, takes him a year to figure out, then he slaps the Premier League about willy-nilly. Like, softness is like, if you're good, it doesn't matter how soft you are, right? Look, Varane is class, pure class. In 2011, Man United were choosing between Phil Jones and Raphael Varane. They wanted both, but then they went for Jones first, and then they tried to get Varane as well. But by then, Zidane had said, "Hey, Raphael, come to Real Madrid."
Oh my God!
You know, and he went to Real Madrid. Now, look, at the time, it didn't look like that was the worst deal because Phil Jones, remember when he was a teenager, looked like, "Oh my God, this kid's going to be
New Duncan Edwards," as Fergie said.
But, you know, Varane is phenomenal. He's been phenomenal for almost an entire decade now. His consistency is outrageous. He's a massive guy, big guy, broad shoulders, good in the air. He's actually quite great in the air if he's really settled in a rear guard, which bodes very well for United because, of course, Lindelof. But, you know, having Maguire and Varane at the back in a rear guard now, that's really, really potent. The best thing about Varane, though, by a million miles, is he's rapid, man. He's rapid. That's forget everything else. He's a good passer. He's not a great passer. He's not coming out the back. He's not even as good as Maguire as a passer. He's not as good as Lindelof, I would say. He doesn't come out the back with the ball all silky smooth and everything. He's decent. He's not bad, but he's not a great passer. That's not what he's here for. The man is a defender, right? The man is a proper defender. He's big. He's strong. He's fast, man. Seriously, this guy is so rapid once he gets sprinting. It should be illegal for a man that big to be that quick. It's kind of like Van Dijk, you know? Just that sort of like, he's huge. He's not quick. Oh my God, no, he is quick. Uh-oh, watch out. Now look, he's 20. He's not in his peak, right? He's not been in his peak for the last year or so. Had a dodgy season, wasn't at his best. But then, frankly, if you watch Real Madrid last season, none of them were at their best, except for Courtois in goal. They were awful in Madrid last season. Courtois and Benzema. Everyone else was like, ah.
And even Varane not at his best, still upgrade John Lindelof, doesn't it?
Oh, look, he's a massive upgrade, Lindelof. And the thing as well is I think he will get back to his best at United because it's a new challenge. You remember, he's been at Madrid for 10 years. He's only 28, but he's been at Madrid since he was 18. So he's been at Madrid for a long time. right? So that's, it gets a bit stale there. He's literally won everything there is to win. Won 2 La Ligas, won 4 Champions Leagues. I mean,
I think it's 3.
Hard to keep motivated after all that, isn't it, right? And he wants a new contract. He's going to get a big new deal at United probably. Plays with Maguire, a defender who complements him quite like Sergio Ramos does. Very vocal Maguire is. That's the one knock back on Varane, is that maybe he's not very vocal. And you can see that when Real Madrid play without Sergio Ramos, they tend to lack a sort of organisation and leadership at the back, because Varane isn't. I don't think he's a big talker. Whereas the likes of, he's played with big talkers like Umtiti, like Ramos, right? And you can see France suffered without Umtiti at the back, because Kimpembe, I don't think, also is not a big talker, right? So you didn't really see the organisation at the back of France. But I mean, you look at France's game against Switzerland where they got eliminated. The only one of their defenders that played well was Varane. He was like a one-man mission to stop the Swiss. It's like everyone else was just falling around him, falling over in front of Swiss players. So he's still got it. Is he as good as he was 3 years ago? No, but he's also 28 years old, which as a defender is not old. He's still got the pace. He's got at least 3 years left in him, maybe even more. So to me, it's a no-brainer. Like, if you can sign Raphael Varane, take that number 4 off Luke Shaw's back to say, not Luke Shaw, sorry, Phil Jones. Just Phil, give me the 4 back. Go away, Phil. Take the 4, give it to Raphael Varane.
He's still here,
I know. I think my favourite bit about what you said there was not. I mean, obviously the stuff about Varane is great, but the fact that Harry Maguire has had such a good Euros, you were happy to compare him with Sergio Ramos, which I love. Because 6 months ago, no one's comparing Harry Maguire to Sergio Ramos, and now you can pretty much get away with it, which is amazing. If you watched him in the last few months of the season for United, and then especially at the Euros, it's like, look, United signed him 80 million euros. Everyone laughed. What are you doing at 80 million euros for a cart horse, header machine, whatever? And fine, the jokes were kind of justified at the time. And he started the season horribly with that horrible incident in Greece, and he really struggled to get over that. And everyone's saying, give him a break. We were rightly saying that. But Solskjaer persevered with him. I don't know what he was doing with him behind the scenes, but it clearly worked, because he ended the season really strong. If he was fit, by the way, United win the Europa League final. Not without a question. If he wasn't injured for that, United would have won that. And, his effect on England when he came in, it was transformative. Again, if he's not there, England don't get to the final of Euro 2020. No. He was so good. Because Mings didn't do much wrong, but you saw the team in the defence go to another level when Maguire was there. Yeah, Mings is a great defender. Mings is a great defender. And by the way he bodied Prix Patel, Mings can, United should buy Mings just for that. Just buy him and give him like 200 grand a week just for that, mate. Honestly, worth it. But
it's actually good to see going back slightly on the England stuff. It's actually good to see a lot of the England players coming out and basically going, shut the fuck up to these absolute fucking hangers-on that just latched onto stuff. Yeah. Love that.
But yeah, Varane, that's a great bit of business. Now United just need to get that midfielder, because if you got Jadon Sancho, that's huge. That's absolutely mega. People don't really realise how good he is, because no one watches the Bundesliga, apparently, including Gareth Southgate. Jadon Sancho is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Like last season, not this season. Last season, he was putting up like he's the only player along with Messi that had like plus 15 for both goals and assists, I think, midway through the season. Like, when you're the only person that's doing something Messi's doing, you're doing something pretty well. Now, okay, the Bundesliga is more open than the Premier League, but he's got the talent. He's such a good talent. People aren't even going to realise it. And at first, he may not show it because he'll be playing with Martial. But once Rashford gets back in the team, which hopefully will be in about October, November, don't want to rush him. Take time. It's gonna be like United gonna be really good in attack, and now you got Varane. You add Varane to that in defence. Just got to get a defender. I mean,
fit Cavani as well. A fit Cavani that's had a pre-season. Yeah, baby, I'm all about that.
In front of the fans as well.
Oh my god, I can't wait. The first time he scores, let's have goal music for the first time ever at Old Trafford. It's gonna go off if you play that ABBA song in Old Trafford. Fucking ABBA. 75,000 people going bananas to ABBA.
It's Jadon Sancho dribbling and cutting the ball back for Cavani, for Greenwood, for anyone. I mean, it's going to be good. Varane at the back, adding solidity. Now, you get a midfielder in that can actually hold midfield and pass the ball with a bit more zest. I mean, look, Fred had a good Copa America. Fair play to Fred, right? Had a good Copa America. McTominay was decent at the Euros, but these guys are squad players, right? Especially McTominay. Like, use him in certain situations.
They should be. That's fine.
Yeah, but then you need a starter. You need a bona fide starter next to Paul Pogba, who again, by the way, for the 4 games he was still in it, was the best player at the Euros. You need a bona fide starter next to him. Now, I don't know if that's Camavinga. I don't know if that's Declan Rice. I mean, Declan Rice seems to me like he would cost absurd amount of money.
I mean, we have to talk about it because I've talked about him so much. Sal Niguez. Now, I actually asked United's assistant manager, listen, mate, and my exact words was, I've got a fetish for Sal Niguez. Please tell me that there's something in that. And he laughed and he went, he's on our radar, but I think he's probably going to cost too much. And I was like, fine, at least I know someone's watching him. That was on Sunday, we had him in. Yesterday, it sort of broke, didn't it? I saw Romano mention.
How good would you have been if you'd have said, what's going on with Sal Niguez? I've got a bit of fetish. And he just went, who?
Please, just leave. Come on.
Please.
There was some discussion that he was potentially going to Liverpool, and I was throwing up in my mouth a little bit at the prospect because I thought, Jesus, if they've got him and Thiago and they've transformed this entire midfield, they're going to evolve and be something different. So I'm glad he's not going there. But by the looks of it, he's off to Barcelona, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and it's it's not for sure he's going to Barcelona yet. I mean, we assume he is. Obviously, the rumoured deal is that Antoine Griezmann goes back to Atletico Madrid with his tail between his legs after flopping hard at Barcelona. Saul then goes to Barcelona. Although I think Barca want a bit of cash as well, or another player. I'm not sure exactly, but that's the rumoured deal. It's like people, everyone you want to hear talk about it is talking about it. Fabrizio Romano's on it, so that seems to be done. It's not done yet though, so it might not happen, but probably is going to happen. The rumor was he was going to go Liverpool before that, and that would have been huge for Liverpool. Like you said, that's perfect. He's exactly what they need. The box-to-box midfielder like Wijnaldum, but unlike Wijnaldum, he's way more expressive with the ball at his feet, and he's more confident. And Wijnaldum was deliberately conservative for Liverpool, but Saul is much more an expressive player. Him and Thiago is a great, obviously the compatriots, both Spanish. That'd be fantastic. And then you put Fabinho at the back of them. That's a really formidable midfield. So for Liverpool, it's another big miss. They lost out on Wijnaldum. They've lost out on they lost out on Fekir ages ago. They lost out on Wijnaldum. He's left on a free, and now they've lost out on Saul, possibly. That's huge for Liverpool. It's huge for Barcelona to get that as well. To get rid of Griezmann, shift the salary, they can now breathe a little bit easier, and Saul will help beef up that midfield as well. With Pedri, Busquets, and Frenkie, it's already pretty good. So Barca, from being basically one of the laughing stocks of football for the most of last season, have inexplicably found themselves had actually a pretty good team somehow. I mean, the manager is still Ronald Koeman, but I mean,
I'm not having this. I'm not having that. It was pretty good. It's ridiculous. They get Aguero on a free. They're doing a swapsy for Saul. They're potentially bringing in all sorts of different players. Most of them on a free, right? Memphis hasn't gone there yet, has it, or has it?
No.
Memphis is done. It's done, but they haven't ratified it yet because they have to have shifted salary.
This is mental. They're $1 billion in debt, and they've gone, don't worry about that.
Well, they're getting rid of about 800 grand a week wages in Griezmann, aren't they?
And they've managed to explain how they've made Messi does Messi not have an accountant, right? I mean, with his tax problems, it's likely that he might not do actually. But they've managed to go to Messi, hey, do you like we pay you $2.5 million a week? What if we pay you half as much, but for longer? And he's gone, oh. So I get the same money, and they're like, yeah, kinda.
It takes 5 years to get it.
Yeah, but you're still working here for the extra time.
The thing is, though, isn't it? That's the thing. Well, with Messi, you can play on his loyalty, right? Not many elite players like that have loyalty like that to one club, right? They'll be like, look, man, there's like 10 other clubs will pay me. See you later. Messi actually has a genuine loyalty to Barcelona. It's a very rare thing in modern football, right? Most people think of Neymar, Cristiano Ronaldo, other elite players like that. They'll be like, toodles, see you later, we're off. But Messi actually has a loyalty to Barcelona, and they're telling that. But it has to be mentioned, it has to be clear. If Joan Laporta hadn't been re-elected president, Messi would be gone. Messi would have been out the door June 30th. He would have probably gone to Man City. But Laporta, they got rid of Bartomeu, and Laporta, who Messi loves, and who was the guy, the president when Messi came through the first time, and was always looked after Messi, always been very close to Messi and Messi's dad. He's the president again now. He won the elections earlier this year, and that is why Messi's staying. Nothing else. No other person could convince Messi to cut his wages in half, right? Like no one else could say, Leo, we want you to stay. Why don't you cut your wages in half and then help the team that way? He'd be like, no, I'm not doing that. But this guy comes in and convinces him. I don't know what he does. I don't know what gift of the gab this guy has that but he's convinced Messi to cut his wages in half. That's huge. Getting rid of Griezmann is huge. Barca sorting out their wage issues. They're going to start fixing their debt. They've got this ridiculous team now. Maybe lack a properly elite goal scorer, but I mean, with the way they're going, wouldn't surprise if they get Haaland next year, mate, to be honest. But they've got Ansu coming back. They've got young Ansu Fati. They've got young Pedri. That's literally two of the best teenagers, if not the two best teenagers in world football. So from being a joke, which they really were for the last couple of years, Barca are kind of great again. I mean, potentially, obviously, let's see how it all plays together. Like I said, Ronald Koeman is still the coach, and he's, mid at best. So let's see how it all plays out.
But you know what? There's like 5 more weeks left of pre-season. There's plenty of time for us to start working out how each team is going to look. Obviously, Arsenal went up to Scotland and returned with a tail between the legs from their pre-season. But it's pre-season. You're meant to experiment. You're meant to lose your pre-season game. If you just win all your pre-season games, I guarantee you don't win when you start the Premier League. Don't work like that. No. Anyway, Mo, where can people be following all of the pre-season stuff?
Squawka.com, Squawka on Twitter, Squawka Football on Facebook, Mohammed Butt on Twitter. You know, the good places. See you there.
The link for all of those is in the description below. Cheers, Mo.
See ya.
I still can't believe that Messi thing, you know. Imagine your boss came to you and said, you know what, we'll pay you the same money, but we let you work twice as many hours. So you can work 80 hours this week and we'll still pay you the same money. That's not right, is it? That's no good. Imagine that.
Can we put that in?
We can try, yeah. We'll work that. Can we get that in the contracts, please? 80 hours, same cash. Perfect.
More cash? No. Same cash.
That's the thing. Don't worry, you're not going to pay. You know, we're paying you half as much per hour.
Do you want more hours at work?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want the same pay? No. Well, you can have one of them.
Okay. First things first, we're halving your wages. But
he can't have an accountant.
We let you work 80 hours.
He can't have an accountant.
No.
Or not a good one, at least, anyway.
No. Or maybe one that they put so much like, you've been here for so long.
I think we've got the same accountant.
Yeah.
Do you know what I actually think that they could have said to him is, listen, that 1.3 million a week we're taking off you, if we promise to put that 100% into new players, because that's like 10 new players, or like 5 mega ones, like Aguero, etc. Is that all right? And he's gone, otherwise it's like me and the youth team. Yeah.
And you can be sat getting fat on the bench when you're 39 and we'll still pay you 600 grand a week.
Or 1.3 million a week.
Yeah, perfect.
Insane. Anyway, so United are having this domestic pre-season.
I like it.
A little bit annoyed. I was hoping to get a little bit of sun on my face.
Oh no. We might get some in Derby.
Yeah.
You know there's a place called California in Derby, don't you?
Yeah.
Go there. Where you were on holidays in California. Yeah, California. It is in Derby.
Devoed.
But you do get to watch Wayne Rooney's Derby.
Wayne Rooney's Derby. He put 10 years on in the last 6 months, didn't he?
When you say 10 years, you mean 3 stone?
Yeah, but also, he just got really old really fast. He was like, not playing, relax.
Perfect. Cornish pasties, please. The problem with Wayne Rooney is, and you look, you know, someone like Rio, I know he's in great shape, but he wouldn't have this problem.
Rio's in better shape now than when he played.
Yeah, but he's also got a longer head. Rooney's got a round head, which means you put a stone on, it goes to the face. So like your eyes close up a bit, your cheeks get wide. He hasn't got a body shape that can hold
Rio's
a couple
2 stone heavier.
Yeah.
Obviously but he's probably as slimmer.
Yeah, so...
Because I don't think he's missed a day in the gym since he finished.
No, but let's say Peter Crouch put 2 stone on. It's not going to
look at what Rio literally built a fucking awesome personal training gym in his house.
Steve.
Rooney built an extra larder.
I remember defender to contender. I remember that with Rio Ferdinand, and then he legally wasn't allowed to box.
Yeah.
But yeah, Wayne Rooney.
I got him with that on the podcast as well.
Did
he was talking about something being a shit idea. I was like, speaking of shit ideas, when will you try to box?
So yeah, we've got Derby to start with Sunday, at 1 o'clock. Yeah. Less than 1 week after the Euros final, Man United starts. No rest.
You told me that on Monday?
Yeah.
I went, what the fuck are you on about? No, that's not real. And he was like, fucking is. I was like, ugh.
I know.
And then we got QPR on the 24th. We've got Brentford and Everton on the 28th of July and then the 7th of August. Those are at Old Trafford. 2 pre-seasons at Old Trafford.
That's not bad. When's the last time that happened? Occasionally you get one, don't you?
You get like a testimonial and a fucking knockabout or a Legends, don't you? You don't usually get 2 pre-seasons at Old Trafford. But it's a good opportunity for like, if you've got like young family members, cousins, things like that, get them to the first game at Old Trafford because season tickets sold out.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy that sits in front of me, Paddy, he palmed his.
Really?
So we've lost one of our little group.
I think a lot of people nearly did a couple of months ago. And then as the time went on, people went,
yeah, especially it's like because you'd already paid, we'd already paid on ours, and we had like credit in the bank almost, so they knocked it off. So we got like 300-400 quid off the price of the season ticket because we'd already paid like for games that we didn't manage to get at the back end of the 2 seasons ago.
Yeah. Amazing.
What the hell?
Yeah.
So yeah, a couple of games at Old Trafford.
Talk about going down as well. They were 30 quid to start with. They're now 20 quid for adults, and I think they're free for under 16. So if you're going, you've got a kid, you've got family, you thought 30 quid was too much, which it is. 20 quid's probably still too much for a pre-season game, but slightly more affordable if you want to take your kid, it's free.
Interestingly, I found this last night. Found out about this last night. People always, football's a working class game. People have been priced out of it. Well, actually, in the Victorian times, they literally priced out the scum.
Really?
Like they had a minimum. It was like sixpence, I think it was that they had a minimum amount that you was able to charge, and that was intended to keep a bit of the violence and the ruffians out, which is interesting. I never even thought that a minimum attendance cost was a thing, but apparently it was in like the 1880s and 90s.
But back then, though, there was some real rabble, weren't there? There was like...
Proper rabble. Old school rabble.
Yeah, not like, oh, you know, this person works on minimum wage. Like, people want to demonise now. This is like... This person lives in the street and they're cutting people in half most nights.
Yeah, well, that was because there was no welfare state, Joe.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's just these ridiculous. Fellows had nothing.
It's ridiculous. And then it was at its peak, what, 70s, 60s?
What, ruffians?
No, getting into games for cheap.
I don't know. You know, there was the between the war years. It went mental. So like after World War One, they had a massive explosion through the 20s and 30s when it was like everyone was skin. Yeah. Football boomed like that, so a lot of people got record attendances in the 30s and stuff like that. And then post Second World War,
it's also pre-health and safety.
That's true.
Just stand there. Well, there's already 150,000 people there.
Yes. It's a grassy knoll. You'll be fine.
Make it 150,001.
There's you went uni around here, didn't you?
Yeah.
Not from around here, but went uni around here. Yeah. So anyone who goes uni around Manchester, they'll know Fallowfield. Well, Fallowfield used to have a stadium, and it held the FA Cup for a period of time.
Really?
In the 30s or 40s, with like 90,000 people. Yeah. Like in Fallowfield. Some of the photos from that game. There's the touchline. There's the crowd.
Just on it, like a basketball game.
Like if someone sneezes, like the winger might get nudged. Yeah. Like insane. Like well pre-health and safety. But there was also a boom. Like post Second World War, like that's when, for me, a bit of a golden age of football. The 50s and the 60s, the Babes, the Busby era. Do you know what I mean? Like that massive boom of football. 70s, still high attendances. Then it went a bit west with hooliganism. The 80s, the fans just fucked off. The stadiums probably hadn't been touched since the 30s. Yeah. By the time the 80s rolled around, football clubs was completely skint. It was pre the TV money, and for all the negative sort of connotations of extra TV money and the all-seater stadiums, the impact that they had on atmosphere. Attendances are incomparable from like the noughties to the 80s. It's bananas. So. You lost in atmosphere, I'll give you that. But in terms of other things, it was way improved and vastly improved and all the rest of that. But yeah, a minimum entry fee to keep the ruffians out. Madness.
Such a Victorian concept as well. Although I wouldn't be completely shocked to see something similar nowadays.
Well, I wonder if who's just been promoted this season, say? Brentford, great example. Yeah, probably fill their ground because is it 18k or 19k? Sure. It's not a big one. Yeah. I think it's a new gaff as well. But let's say there was like, right, well, you know, we don't think we'll fill it. I don't know what their attendances are like. We don't think we'll fill it, so we'll just charge you £1. I wouldn't be surprised if the Premier League was
like that. Under 16s free.
In the Premier League, actually, you have to charge at least £5 or £11. Just something like nominal. You have to.
Although City give away tickets to pretty much every other European night, don't they?
I was going to do this for a video as a piss take out of City, but then I thought...
You might just get your head kicked in.
No, so I wouldn't go. But I thought... The clapback on it would be, oh, you've taken tickets off kids. No, because they weren't fucking going anyway. I was going to see how many tickets I can actually get my hands on for like City Southampton. Someone like, for free. Because City, like you bump into someone at City and they, 50 tickets. Like,
I've been robbed. And they're like, just giving you all the tickets.
Yeah, like they, anyone who's got a junior club around Manchester, every week, how many tickets would you like for Manchester City? And on one hand, you go, that's good marketing. On the other hand, you go, it's fucking pretty sad that you have to do that. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
Right, what else is happening this weekend? Fuck that. Did you watch Conor McGregor break his ankle shin?
I didn't see it. I think I'm done with Conor McGregor.
Oh, really?
But I mean, like, he just did too much out of the octagon
Remember when he used to fight every 3 months?
Yeah, and he was ace, and he won all the time, and he was the best talker, and he used to fight in the most exciting ways, and he was genuinely brilliant. And then it's just got stale. He's eating old men in pubs. He's got all sorts of allegations against him left, right, and centre. He's getting into the dolly at the window. That was the peak. That was like actually exciting WWE shit. But don't be posting pictures of people's kids saying that people are going to get killed and all. Like that's just shit.
Sort of shit he said about Poirier's wife.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
It's probably. But what are you going to do?
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Stop asking these sporting heroes to be role models, because they're not.
No.
They're just, like he says, I'm not a celebrity. This is the greatest line in the history of combat sports. Fuck anything Muhammad Ali says. I'm not a celebrity. I punch people in the mouth for money and bounce. What a fuck.
Yeah.
Every word of that's perfect.
Yeah.
Fucking brilliant. And he's right. Yeah. And although, I mean, he does get paid to punch people in the mouth, doesn't do it as much as or as good as he used to do.
No. I think, yeah.
He makes more money on whiskey now and suits and shit.
Probably, yeah. Instagram's
just fuck it off. But even if he fucks it off, he'll be fighting Jake Paul or something in about
exactly.
2 years.
Yeah.
We're that close away. So, Silverstone,
the F1.
GP. Watched Rush last night.
Any good? It's meant to be good.
It?
No. Wait, which one's Rush? There's two, isn't there?
Well, with Thor in it.
Yeah, I've seen that. Really good.
Yeah,
Niki
well
Lauda.
good. Yeah.
Really good.
Well good. So yeah, I was watching that one last night. What's going on this week then? Friday to Sunday.
140,000 people at Silverstone, Stu. There's your headline.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot. That's too many, even if COVID didn't exist, if we're honest. 140,000, what is this? The Maracanã. You can't be having 140,000 people
The thing
in
is,
one
because
place.
it's a track that's miles,
Yeah, true.
you spread them out. So at no point is it like a gadoosh. Although I think like round the main sort of grandstand,
Yeah.
it is a little bit like that.
It's like 20 million people in like Portugal, pretty tight. 20 million people in Australia, fucking go for it, lads. You've got 1,000 miles either way.
Yeah. So McLaren chief Zach Brown described the Euro 2020 final, which this will all make sense in a minute, as not a well-executed event. After Lando Norris was mugged trying to get into his car, he had his 40 grand watch stolen.
Did he? It's a lot of money, isn't it?
Here's the thing, right? If you're rocking around with 40 grand watches, there's probably a fucking higher percentage chance of being mugged than me or you.
There's a chance when you wear a 40 grand watch, one of the exciting things about it, not just that you can show off, but it's a bit dangerous because people like 40 grand and you've got it in something this big that can fit in a pocket. There's a chance you get mugged with 40 grand watch on. That's kind of the point.
That's not, I don't, see, him saying, I mean, he's got a point. It wasn't the most well-organised event.
Absolutely.
Some seriously professional level jibbing went on.
Yeah.
To pays to fail, Joe.
Should have had more police. Should have had more of that if you wanted to stop that.
Yeah.
But, you know.
But I almost think like being mugged on your way to your car isn't necessarily about the event organisation.
No.
I don't think any event anywhere in the world advertises we'll walk you safely to your car.
Yeah, one police officer on every car within 2 square miles of the ground. That isn't a thing.
How much that watch? 35 grand? You don't get a copper.
No, sorry, it's a minimum 37.5.
Fucking cheapskate.
Yeah.
So anyway, like Formula One driver, what's he got to work for that? Oh, he's just earned it. Don't worry about it. So
yeah, the warm-up lap where they go around like that, he earned it doing that.
Not even.
Yeah.
I think he earned it on the shitter. So apparently this is one of the biggest changes to the weekend schedule in F1 history, as for the first time, drivers are going to be racing on Saturday in a first ever F1 sprint in full of a full capacity, 140,000 spectators. What is an F1 sprint, I heard you say then, Joe? I'll tell you what an F1 sprint
100
is.
metres.
It's a bit to spice up the spectacle.
Add a little bit of
Stop fucking with sports.
I thought going 200 miles an hour was spicy enough, didn't you, Steve? Do you know what I mean?
I think it's less exciting than it was in the 90s. I think the cars now, the lack of overtaking, it's a bit...
You're right. What's this sprint?
I'll tell you. So, in a bit to spice it up, the traditional qualifying hour is going to take place on Friday at 6 p.m. But rather than set the grid for Sunday's race, instead, they're going to dictate the positions for the F1 sprint. And then the sprint takes place on Saturday at 4, and it's essentially a qualifying sprint race. So drivers get to push the car to the limit for a short, flat out, what is it, 1 lap? It's not really, it's 100 kilometres. So it's not, see, a sprint, 100 metres, 200 metres, maybe a lap.
No, it's from here to Blackpool or Sheffield.
No, it's more like, not far off Birmingham, really. Yeah. I mean, as a crow flies. Bit of a mooch. Yeah. So it's 100 kilometres, it's about a third of the actual distance of the race. So if you do a marathon, a third of it, still a fucking long run.
Yeah, I'm just going to go for an 8-mile warm-up. Come on, lads.
Anyway, so there will be, it's the least number of laps that exceeds 100k, so it should be a 17-lap race. Still, is it going to look any different to the race on a Sunday?
No.
Probably not, right?
Probably not.
Just a little bit less strung out.
Yeah, and there probably won't be pit changes and cut tyres and all that shit.
So drivers are allowed to choose any tyre that they wish. I assume only ones that fit the car will be chosen.
Yeah, and ones designed for F1 cars.
Yeah.
You can't just have we're going to use the tyres
unicycle tyres.
Yeah. Push chair.
Yeah, or pram wheels, yeah.
Yeah, actually, we're going to put 4 penny farthing wheels on ours, and we're just going to drive straight over you so we don't have to overtake. We just go over the top of your car.
And it says, unlike the Sunday races, there's no compulsory pit stop, meaning that we should be able to see wheel-to-wheel battle from start to finish.
Wheel to wheel.
I'm not having that. This is just a different version of a full-speed F1
and
race.
half of the overtaking that goes on in F1 is done because of pit racing and pit lanes.
Like the proper F1 nerds, like the one that's sitting in there, they'll talk about the pit strategy as a thing.
We're going for a 1-stop, we're going for a 2-stop. We've got to go hard, soft, hard.
Yeah.
No one's getting hard at the F1.
We're going to have no fuel in, so we get a fucking lead up, and then we'll come in and pit, and then we'll fill it up, and we'll fucking reduce our lead. Come on, it's fucking strategy.
Don't even fill it up anymore, you know.
Don't they?
No. I don't know if they brought it back, but for the last few years, they don't do gas anymore in case someone sets on fire. It's literally just changing tyres. Pathetic. We should be going to that, you know, Steve.
We should.
Yeah. When are we going to go axe throwing? You promised me axe throwing. I told my mum I was going axe throwing. She said, be careful. She sent me a big list of things to watch out for when you go axe throwing. I haven't even had to use it yet.
One of them being let go of the axe.
Make sure.
Because if you just swing and keep hold of it, you're taking a knee off.
Go straight down to the ghoulies.
Yeah. Apparently, the top 3 drivers from the race are going to be awarded points. 3 points to the winner, 2 points to second, and 1 point for third. This is bananas. It's a unique event, and it's going to set the grid for the usual Sunday race at Prix. Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen are preparing to lock horns again for a Grand Prix that could make all the difference in the championship battle. When did this get decided?
Also, why are they doing it like a third into the season, halfway through it? And are they not doing it again?
It's like when they brought VAR and changed the rules off. If you can't do that.
Imagine in December, they were like, oh, for this game, by the way, Boxing Day game, you're going to do a 20-minute five-a-side beforehand. Whoever wins that starts 1-0 up. And it's only happening once, and it starts on Boxing Day. Yeah. That's essentially what they're doing.
Insane.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Not a fan.
No, me neither. Maybe do it. If you want to do it, start next season, do it every time. Consistency, come on.
I don't know why we're talking about this now, Will. Because we could talk about this next week. Tokyo Olympics. Starts on the 23rd of July. Yeah. Till the 8th of August. So we talked about it briefly. 100-metre finals. When are the 100-metre finals?
They're always in the second week, aren't they?
The women's 100-metre final, hopefully featuring Britain's Dina Asher-Smith, takes place at 13:50 o'clock on Saturday the 31st of July. Obviously, we'll talk about that in the build-up to that one. And the men's one is held at the same time as the following day. Asher-Smith is hoping to make it a golden double because she is also in the 200-metre final at the same time, 13:50 o'clock, but on Tuesday.
No, I was going to say, she's hard to do both at once. Unless you're like, they're starting the 100 metres away, and we start the 200 metres, 100 metres back. She just does 200, hopes she wins both at the same time.
Imagine.
That'd be incredible.
Do it.
You would,
now you want to spice up, you
probably would, though, because you don't have the start, so slow you down, but she's also getting a bit tired. There you go.
Strategy.
Yeah. I like
That's a great one. Do you want to start here, flat?
No. Do you want to do the same distance,
rolling
but
start.
for half the pay, like Lionel Messi? That's what it is. We're only paying
twice the difference, same pay.
That's the thing, yeah.
This is why the sprinters have nailed it. They work for 10 seconds.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah. Marathon runners, 4 hours later, all the funky walking type
and
fellas.
it's not even as sexy. Unbelievable.
None of them are jacked.
No.
Not the walkie fellas.
Oh, the
Some
walkie
flexible hips on them, though.
That episode of Malcolm in the Middle where Hal gets into walking fast. That's the best I know about fast walking.
Never been a Mancunian champion at that.
No. You can't do it with hands like
Definitely. Just 10-2 walking. Fucking hell. Slow down, you dickhead.
What are you walking so fast
Fucking rapid, man. Right, anyway. So the men's reigning world champion and the only athlete to have broken 1080 in the last 5 years, America's Christian Coleman. He's got a 9.76 PB. Obviously, the world record is 9.58 with Usain Bolt. He's a big favourite to win the 100-metre Olympic title in Tokyo. That was until he was handed a 2-year doping ban.
Whee.
After being told his explanation for one of his 3 missed drug tests was simply impossible. I don't know what he did, but apparently it's a lot of old bollocks.
I couldn't turn up. I was a ghost. Yeah. No, that doesn't count. You're banned.
So here's some of the people that our producer thinks could be a contender. Jai Hen from China. Akane Simbine from South Africa, Justin Gatlin, Trayvon Bromwell, and Andre Degas. And about the Brits, we got Zarnell Hughes. He's the reigning European 100-metre champion, and he made the world final in 2019. And we got Ujar as well. He's the reigning British 100-metre champion.
Can you believe Justin Gatlin's doing that? He started before Bolt. He's been racing since about 2001.
Bolt called it a day double early though, didn't he?
Yeah, he was like 30, 32.
which is when a lot of sprinters actually realistic, because it takes you a long time to build up the strength to be able to get to it.
And you're perfecting your technique.
One of you lot at home, it was actually, I don't know if you're at home, maybe he was on a bus, right? Sent me a breakdown, because we was talking about, I like to talk about drugs in sport, because I think it's massive, and obviously in sprinting, there's a fucking big...
Athletics generally.
Big old fucking histoire of
Black flag hanging over it all.
Usain Bolt's never tested positive. He might be clean, because he is a weird genetic freak with leg turnover and the stride length. So there's three things that play a part. It's your stride length, it's your turnover speed.
How tight your latex suit is.
What is the three? It's turnover speed, stride length, I think it's power. Those three things combined create a sprinter. Usain Bolt has shite turnover speed, which is why he's quite slow off the blocks usually.
Right.
But his power and his leg stride is pretty like most sprinters are 5'10".
Yeah.
That's the move. They're not 6 foot, they're not 6'1", they're not 6'2", and they're not 6'7", right?
Yeah.
So when he gets going, he's just taking an extra half a step every fucking time. And that's why through the middle fucking section of the 100 metres, he's like, bye. That's why you get all them photos of him like that.
Sorry, where the fuck are these lot going?
But that's why he starts slow, because everyone's got the little Ronaldo sort of off the line, and he's a little bit slow because it takes him a while to get going. So he might just be the perfect fucking physique.
It's not like he looks and does it like everyone else does, but he's just X faster. He is doing it differently to everyone else and is faster. So yeah, maybe there's something in that.
Yeah, so maybe he is just that one-time fucking roll of the dice, the perfect physique to be a sprinter, and the perfect fucking genetics, and being born in Jamaica with such a pedigree for sprinting. Yeah. Like just 100-metre tracks, just like there is five-a-side fucking spots over here. Insane. So maybe that was the thing. But if you look at, I think it's like the next 20 fucking times, they've all popped for gear. Every different flavour of it.
But some of this exciting though. 958, I think the next closest is like 96. 969 was the record for years, wasn't it? I don't know if people have beaten us in. I think they have.
Wasn't that a Bolt one though?
No, it was, I think it was a Safa Powell before that. I'm not certain. But the one that Bolt broke to go 958, or before that, he broke one. But didn't
Safa Powell pop as well?
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. They all have, but even if Bolt's on it, he's still a good, not just like, a bit faster. He's a good chunk faster. That's the thing. The amount of times someone has run under 9.7, I think he's got like 8 of the 12 or something ridiculous. So even if he is on the same drugs, because he isn't just going to be doing different, better drugs, he's still the fastest. Sort of the Lance Armstrong argument where you're like, you were all on drugs, he was just faster.
But then they have to go to 13th.
Yeah,
to find someone
in the Lance Armstrong, they're like, no one's won it. So I don't know what they do with sprinting, but he is, like you said, he is
like
built
the next
differently.
20 times, they've all popped.
I know. So that's the thing though, you do think, well, let's just let him have it. He's still the fastest, by a good chunk as well. It's not like a nose in it.
I would like to see.
Like 0.1.
I mean, maybe we already do see with Russia and China and stuff like that, because I think there's no libel here. Russia fucking dopes its athletes.
And has done since the 60s, consistently.
Since doping was founded. Yeah, so I think it's safe to say, we know what the limit of white people is, at least, with Russia.
Yeah.
And China's obviously done fucking phenomenal things in weightlifting and all other sorts of different sports. I wonder if you just went, go on then. Do you want to see someone run it in 9.59?
Yeah. Or
fucking 5.59? Let's fucking go.
Hang on a sec, has he got fucking wheels on? Just leans forward like human wheels. Don't worry about it, he's in, go.
Because if we're being honest with ourselves, do you know what? We're probably only going to shave the nothing off it, because people are doing drugs.
Would you like to see a race, Steve? Half man, but the back half is kangaroo legs. And he's doing, not just is he doing it in 5.5 seconds, he's doing it in 6 strides. That's what I want to see. Come on. Human animal megamorphs. Yeah, you think you can do the butterfly fast now? Wait till Adam Peaty's got the back end of a great white shark.
And if you're sitting at home going, what are you two dicks on about? Not everyone's doing drugs. Watch Icarus, put your mind back together, and then text me.
Yeah, definitely are.
Get in the comments below, because they are. And here's the thing, there is an enormous scandal just waiting to be uncovered in football, and it's just...
And you think they're right. Russia were doing drugs to the point where they've been, I think, are they back now? But certainly for the last Olympics, they were competing under the Olympic flag. They couldn't even be Russian for the sake of how statewide their drug scandal was. And they still didn't win everything. So do you think that everyone else who beat them isn't also on drugs? They just got better.
They were doping. Like it's in Icarus. He just like starts reeling off the sports, and you're like, why was you doping in archery?
Yeah, sorry, table tennis. You don't need doping in that. Yes, we do.
It's like the baseball thing. Like there were people was off their tits on all sorts of stuff in baseball, and you're like, it's a catcher.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Here's the sort of the little graph for whether you need to do drugs or not. Can you possibly get injured doing the thing you're doing? Yes. Then do drugs. Because even if it doesn't help you get an extra 10 seconds in the 500 meter or marathon or whatever, if it helps you recover from injury quicker, and it does, then you might as well take it.
Yeah. Or if you're like the pre-WME UFC, the pre-USADA UFC, when they did, you're like, if you're not aware, it's known as the steroid era, and it was all sorts of fun.
Yeah.
You had Alistair Overeem looking like a fucking cartoon character. Yeah. It was sensational.
Literally looked like one of the Monstars from Space Jam.
Yeah, it was brilliant. It was sensational, right? There's never been a better body on a fighter.
No.
Bar none. Bar Ubereem, right?
Yeah.
That was known as the steroid era. Oh, I guess they weren't testing for drugs. No, they fucking were, right? What was they doing? The same shit that football does right now.
Yeah.
So if everyone was just on everything, throughout the time when they were testing the way that football tests now, and then they switched it to Olympic-style blood testing, and people started getting popped left, right, and centre, what do you think would happen in football?
Yeah.
The FA, and here's another thing as well, and I'm not getting sued for this because it's the fucking truth. The FA covers up failed drug tests. It gives you an opportunity. It tells you're injured for 2 weeks. What the fuck is that all about? Is a zero tolerance to fucking drugs, but we won't tell anyone, and you just have 2 weeks off. That's not. No. It's not zero tolerance.
No. And also
there's no desire.
I think there's a misconception of people think steroids equals big muscles. And that isn't Lance Armstrong's a perfect example. He was the skinniest man in the world.
I mean, his legs
obviously big legs, but he's a skinny guy. He's not like, look at me, I'm on steroids. And he was doing
everything. Didn't Mo Farah pop?
No, he didn't. That is libelous.
No,
his coach. No, he didn't. His coach had a history of allowing a lot of his athletes and encouraging a lot of his athletes.
But not his best one.
Not the best one, no.
Interesting.
He's fine. He's just eating corn. Do you know he's not even vegetarian? Did all them corn adverts, he didn't even eat corn. He was like, yeah, they asked me to do it because I'm a friendly guy. He sort of works for the veggie brand, doesn't he, Mo Farah? He's like a smiling, nice chap. Anyway, unbelievable.
Anyway, yeah, if your trainer is one known for supplying drugs, I'm sure it's pure coincidence.
When do I get on the steroids seat? That's my question. That'd be funny, wouldn't it? Coming in looking like fucking Brock Lesnar in his peak.
Why are you got hot dog skin? What's going on?
Just so tight and red all the time. Just squeezing.
But yeah, so there's a massive scandal waiting to be uncovered. It would be a brave person that comes out and goes, yeah, X, Y, Z. I mean, it kind of broke with Barcelona and Spain, and people are like, oh, you can't say no. It did. It broke. Dr. Fuentes. And even Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola got away with a drugs ban for nandrolone on a technicality that happened after he'd already been sanctioned. And then he brought it to a court of appeal and they was like, oh, whatever, because we couldn't fucking test it. So Pep Guardiola had his drugs ban quashed. Oh, it's because he was not guilty? No. The odds of him being not guilty were around about 1 in 10 billion, I think, something like that. So probably fucking guilty. The reason he got his drugs ban quashed now, he popped for nandrolone when he was at Brescia or Empoli, one of those, whoever he was playing for in Italy. And he got a suspension or a sanction. And they take an A and B test sample. He failed on the A test, they test the B test, he failed on the B test. One of the things that they store your piss samples in has like a fucking a degradation factor. The chances of both of them degrading to the point where they're unusable, again, is just like, it's almost lottery winning sort of numbers, but it's not an impossibility. And at the time he was caught, the protocol that they used was perfect, and the protocol changed a couple of years after he was caught, and he went back and managed to get his tried by the new protocol thing. Really fishy shit. And the guy who was in charge of, I think it's the Italian anti-doping agency, was like, this is literally 10 billion to 1 that he didn't dope.
That is less likely than a DNA test being wrong, by the way. You know, when you get like DNA, it's like in your head, 100% certain, DNA, you're the father, you're not the father, that's your blood. DNA tests are less accurate than that. So it's like saying, did the DNA put you at the crime scene? Yeah, but there's a chance, a 10 billion to 1 chance that DNA test was wrong and that wasn't me. Okay, yeah, you're off then. You didn't do that murder. Like that's what's happened there.
So it's really interesting, and I did a thread on it on Twitter a while back, and Madrid fans found it really interesting. What is really interesting is he blamed it all on his doctor. He never said I didn't take anything. He said I just took what my doctor said.
Good lad.
Right? Then he hired that doctor at Barcelona.
No, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
Joe, if you had to find a smoking gun.
Steve, people can change.
Yeah, and then Dr. Fuentes, who was he got done for doping the Spanish cycling team. I think it was Spanish Postal? No, it was Lance Armstrong was Postal, wasn't it? So he got done doping the Spanish national cycling team. And while he was on trial, he was like, listen, I got the names of a load of footballers and fucking like Barcelona, Real Madrid players and Real Sociedad players, who are the only ones that got dug up, by the way. And when he was in prison, he supposedly said to one of his cellmates, listen, if my fucking fingies get found out, Spain will be giving the World Cup back. What the fuck? Now, you can do it yourself. Dr. Fuentes, Barcelona. That wasn't the doctor that Pep had when he was at Thingy, but he hired him as the actual Barcelona doctor.
Interesting, isn't it?
Right, if I ever said to you, Joe, this fucking guy gave me some stuff that made me test positive for steroids, and I don't take steroids.
I can't believe he did it. Right. You know, it could have ruined my career. Yeah. It's literally, put my livelihood at stake.
But now I'm a manager. Yeah. I'm going to hire him to be the doctor for my team.
Say what now? The same. You want to try to sabotage your career?
Don't nearly got you banned for 2 years. That guy. Yeah.
Interesting.
Well.
I guess he's learnt his lesson.
Well. Fishy. Not at all.
So anyway, the Olympics. That's where we come back to, isn't it?
Let's have a sweepstake over and under on how many people popped positive for steroids.
Yeah.
Because they're doing it, Joe.
I don't even know what the average is.
Just got a couple in it.
Yeah.
What you want is you want the medal winners to get back. You see them there fucking crying the bollocks off, listening to the flag and all the rest of it, and then 2 days later, had to redo the fucking 200 metres because that guy's piss was green.
Well, Bolt had to give his 4x100 relay medal back, didn't he?
Yeah, because one of the others.
Yeah, because one of the others. So he won 100, 200 relay, 100, 200 relay, 100, 200 relay, and had to give it back. So he's only got 8 gold medals now. Instead of 9.
Might as well not even bothered.
Yeah.
Anyway, cheers for tuning in. Go check out Squawka and what's going on with footy this weekend. I can't believe United got a game. Come and check Joe out on Sunday.
Watch along on Stretford Paddock starting at 12 o'clock. Make sure you check it out.
Laters.